Good morning, friends and Bitcoiners. Welcome to another lovely episode of BCN Crypto Kickoff. My name is Mr. Clifford T. Mitchum, and I am the Educational Director for BitcoinCrypto.news, and I will be your host today. So, let's get everything started as I arrange everything together. First things first, we want to start off with our crypto shout outs. Big crypto shout out going out to Eugene Forrest over at Bitcoin and Coffee. His show has a new time coming on Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Stay tuned for the Friday episode, which I believe goes on at 5, and for his weekend bonfires and Bitcoin. And also want to do a crypto shout out to our sponsor, Crypto Quick. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Crypto Quick itself is an online directory and resource to find local businesses that accept cryptocurrencies in your area. If you have not created or taken advantage of your free crypto listing with Crypto Quick, be sure to get on that page, do that, and also, if you can, let them know that you found out about them on the show here. Now we'll begin our show as we always do with our disclaimer. The information provided in this show is for educational purposes only and is not financial or investment advice. For financial advice, please speak with a licensed professional. So with that, let's go ahead and get into it. So for last week, the week of February 3rd through February 9th, Bitcoin started off the week at $3,467.21. Finishing out the week at $3,671.20. That is a $203.99 gain, or 5.9%. So overall, much of what we expected through the week, except going on Saturday, we had a big jump of this $200 gain. We're expecting pretty flat activity, if not a little bit down last week, but with that big bump, some whale activity or some institutional player activity is what really got to shoot up. But one thing that's really indicative of that, when you look at the graph here, you see this straight line, that just shows that some major movement. Either some financial players or institutional players jumped in and dropped a bunch of money into crypto, or we had some bots coming online. That's generally what we see with this activity. The line is just too straight for it to be normal. Because what you'll see is everything coming off and progressing throughout the week was just flat, very little activity going on. And then boom, you have the jump, and then it continues on pretty flat for the rest of the day. Just shows that the natural traders, just weren't doing much, but we had institutional players or whales jumping in the mix and creating that big jump in volatility. So those of you that are able to take advantage of it, good on you. Those of you out there day trading, it was a great day to move around in the crypto space. So before we jump into that, I want to say a big thank you and shout out to our Instagrammers out there. SP Declue, thank you for joining us. Miss Nita Q Ray, thank you for joining us as well. So now, what was going on in Bitcoin last year this week? Bitcoin started off the week at $9,175.70, finishing out the week at $8,736.98. That is a $438.72 drop, with equating to a 4.8% decrease. So overall, the activity, you see there was a bit of easy, slow downward movement just as far as the slope there, bottomed out, then had a bit of a rebound. Now, the activity we saw last year was more indicative of natural rebound, as opposed to this year, we're seeing just that straight up spike as far as a rebound. Either way, overall, we did have a rebound for both weeks. But now, the activity going on last year, again, was pretty minimal. You can just see by the way the chart's going. It's only small peaks and valleys that are going through that activity. So just the natural motion wasn't too crazy. Didn't have a lot of things going on. So again, just like this year, we didn't expect a lot going on. So market activity was pretty pretty flat and, inactive. Just like here, it was a bit of a downward slope, but everything for last year was a bit of a downward slope. So, it's nothing too outrageous as far as the activity. So the expectations could go along with, what we had in mind for this year. So when we look at what was going on last year, or what's going on last year next week, that would be the week of February 10th going through February 16th. Bitcoin started out the week at $8,616.13, finishing out the week at $10,233.90. That is a $1,617.77 gain, or 18.8% increase. This is one of those, false jumps that we had seen last year. I know people got really excited that, okay, Bitcoin is going to kind of hang out around 10,000. We had the initial beginning of the year drop. However, that just ended up not being the case. We can expect going on this year, but we don't necessarily anticipate that it's going to fall off and continue on a downward swing. The first quarter of the year is generally pretty slow and not much happening, but just with the activity we have going on, we have a lot of announcements of institutions that are coming into the crypto space, particularly the legacy markets and financial institutions. So many of them are starting to get their activity underway. They've been delays due to the government shutdown, but actually, I should scratch that. We probably will end up running into another government shutdown just the way things are going now. So we could still imagine this going back down just once that kicks into place, only because when a government shutdown occurs, the portion of the SEC that handles the ETF adoption and the crypto activity that could be beneficial to everybody also shuts down. So that means it's going to delay any ETF or any papers or approvals that we would want to see coming through into the markets. So we can expect a bit of a bounce, but probably towards the end of the week, things dipping out again. Around February 15th is when they're supposed to be shutting down again if they can't come to a decision. So I imagine towards the end of the week, things are going to go down again, which also it shows a lot of unsteadiness in the legacy markets. So there's no direct correlation, but when the legacy markets go down since the end of last year, the crypto markets have been following suit. So likely we can expect to see a downward trend at the end of the week. But for the first part of the week, I would look for a bounce. Something in the range under 5%. We haven't seen huge swings, but much of that started just with the activity we saw at the end of the weekend, or the beginning of the weekend. So with that, I want to say a shout out to my man, Paul Rouleau. Thanks for jumping in on our YouTube chat. Paul Rouleau, you're a rock. You're a steady man. You solid foundation for the show here. So I really appreciate you coming out. Thanks for joining us. So moving on to our quarterly activity. The quarter of the year is going from January 1st up to March 31st. Now, last year, when we had the quarterly activity, Bitcoin started off the year at $13,625, and it finished out the quarter at $6,973.53. That is a $6,651.47 drop in the fiat value of Bitcoin, or a 48.8% decrease. This was the big slide, and it just never got better throughout the rest of the year. The bear just woke and didn't hibernate for the rest of the year. We don't expect to see activity quite like that for the entire year, but we don't expect the first quarter of the year to be a big gangbusters year. Hopefully, towards the end, we can see that jump as we get into the next quarter, but the more likelihood is that we won't see that to the beginning of the second quarter, just because people have to close out the books, businesses got to wrap everything up just to get their numbers to balance out for their dividends, profits, and everything. And depending what the market is, will show us what financial activity we can expect from the legacy space. So we look at what's going on for the quarter to date. Again, started out 13,625, and at this point last year was at $8,736.98, and that from the beginning of the year equated to a $4,888.02 drop. About 2/3 of the drop that was going to be seen throughout the whole quarter was done up to this point. and it was about 35.9% decrease. So you can see over that, it was about 14% still to go for the end of the quarter. So large portion of the drop we had already seen. Now, this year, I'm just hoping for a bit of a bounce towards the end of the quarter, or at least a flattening out of the activity. That's what we would expect and would really anticipate seeing, but nothing too major going on. We just don't want to see any more bleeding. And I really don't think we're going to see a lot of bleeding just for this quarter. And that's what my expectations are leaning to. Now, we did have the Chinese New Year that's going on that just happened on the 5th. So that's a good predictor for the activity going on at that time. And let's go ahead and jump into our quarter to date this year. So up today, Bitcoin started off the year at $3,746.41. And it finished out up to date for quarter to date today, over the weekend, to $3,671.20, or a $75.50 drop, which equates to about 2.2% decrease. Now, much of that return of the funds, so the drop wasn't that significant, just happened on Saturday. So we can see it's only a small amount overall for the quarter, and everything's looking pretty flat, which is what we really can anticipate for this whole quarter. So just a lot of flat activity, not much going on. The legacy markets are moving into the crypto space. They're getting all their ducks in a row, and they're working on getting things through with the SEC to have the Bitcoin ETF and Bitcoin exchange traded notes and the like that we're seeing internationally as far as the notes. The ETF exchange traded fund is what we're seeing in the States here. But they're running into delays due to government shutdowns, which all in all, it's really good because it bolsters more of the crypto space, because when they shut down, the trading activity diminishes. In Bitcoin, ain't nobody shutting this down, baby. Everything's just powering through, no matter what the governments like to do, or it's blue in the face as they may get. So more flat activity overall. But when you do look at this chart, you can see the big spikes from the legacy. What I anticipate are legacy traders or big whales that are just dumping funds in the hopes of activity, or to get everybody else to, spark off or do some jumps. It's really kind of showing the intended manipulation going on in the crypto space that, we're just gotten too smart to really jump into and play with. So, no matter what their activity does, we got some smart hodlers now. So great to see everything going on. More just flat stuff for the quarter. So with that, if anybody does have any questions, go ahead and throw them into our chats. I'll jump into those, get those answers for you as we progress. So let's jump into our top stories for the week. Now, these coming in off our Twitter feed. The first story is Bitcoin is money, says Florida judge after court ruling. This is an article coming to us from BitcoinNews.com. Crypto shout out to BitcoinNews.com for putting this article out there. So what this says is a Florida appeals court has overturned an acquittal that based its original decision on the grounds that Bitcoin was not actually classified as money at the time. A third district appeal court hearing in Miami has now overturned the decision, which will result in Espinoza facing a trial by jury. According to the court, Espinoza's Bitcoin for Cash business required him to register as a payment instrument seller and money transmitter. This ruling overall is very bittersweet. Now, Mr. Espinoza was just running a business, trading crypto for fiat, just helping people out to get that facilitated. Bitcoin was looked at as property by the IRS, or now is looked at as property by the IRS, so really shouldn't have been a factor. Bitcoin, again, even then wasn't really looked at as a money financial instrument. It was just a novelty, back in 2014, particularly since it was, it wasn't the best year for Bitcoin to begin with. But, it's really the downer is that Mr. Espinoza is going to be going to court and could be seeing some jail time, because as the powers that be see it, mess with the dough, you gotta go. And they just don't like the power and potential that Bitcoin has. So they're doing their best to crack down and curtail any activity. So now That's the sad aspects of it. The good aspects is they're recognizing the currency value and the trade value that Bitcoin has. And from a court standpoint, we do want to see that. But it's just a matter of, it's not a traditional security. It's not something that everybody on an everyday basis, especially back in 2014, was utilizing. So it's really, I feel, an unfair comparison for that, but could bolster everybody else in the future to actually use cryptocurrency as money and do some protections as a security. Even though there is legislation to make Bitcoin not a security, so it doesn't have to worry about security laws like this one and the anti-money laundering laws, which they've totally conflated and misrepresent how Bitcoin's used. But I wish the best for Mr. Espinoza, but it's good to see that it's recognized as money, but bad to see that they're using it to curtail a person just doing a legitimate business. I mean, the scammers, by all means, take out the scammers all day. I just don't feel that Mr. Espinoza is there, but that does kind of bolster to the idea of jury nullification. So anybody that is on the jury for that, look into what jury nullification is and how if you don't feel that something was actually a crime, you can actually release Mr. Espinoza and other businesses or individuals that just trying to work with the crypto space and take advantage of the paradigm shift. Our next article, headline, Bitcoin ETF is inevitable, says SEC Commissioner. This is coming to us from KS Dr. E. Hassan A. Kamel. Crypto, shout out to you. That's a heck of a long name. Lots of letters going on there. So now what he says, the SEC Commissioner, eventually, I do think someone will satisfy the standards that we've laid out there. I hope so. And excuse me. Eventually, do I think someone will satisfy the standards that we've laid out there? I hope so. Yes, I think so. Getting the stamp of approval from the deepest and most liquid capital markets in the world is hard, and it should be. Once we make it available to everyday mom and pop investors, we are taking risks that Americans can get hurt with. And that is a very true statement and just shows that they know what's up. They know that there's a lot of money to be made in crypto space. They know that the people are getting in the crypto space, and they also know that they will not let everybody else make money without them making money. So now when he really finishes off that quote by saying Americans can't get hurt, it just goes to show that once they do open it up to the liquid capital markets that he referenced, they will manipulate and play with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and do what they can to create it into the derivative and to the financial, silly putty that they've used the fiat currencies. Now, luckily, we do have coding that, the code will curtail a lot of the activity, but the trading and the speculative aspects of Bitcoin are what really people are going to have to be really savvy about. These guys are pretty predictable and they don't have a large, extensive game book, particularly for what the cryptocurrencies can allow. So be careful what's going on, anticipate what they're going to be doing, and research. With risk comes reward, but that research is what's going to add the protections and shields to make sure that you can maximize profits without getting hurt, as many Americans can and likely will, because lessons learned hard are lessons remembered. So keep that in mind. But the SEC, they know it's coming. It's going to happen eventually. Too many people want it, and there's too much money to be made. So going to our next article, Morgan Stanley is discussing several different institutional Bitcoin and Ethereum products. So this is coming to us from Crypto Sarah. Crypto, shout out to you, Crypto Sarah. Thanks for putting this article out there. Now, Morgan Stanley is proclaiming that Bitcoin isn't much of a store of value as it is an institutional asset class set to take on trading, and presumably volatility needs to be at big banks and family offices across the globe. While this language is and should be offensive to Bitcoin maximalists and anyone who believes in the original mission of Bitcoin, it certainly isn't a surprise. If institutional and plurality of retail clients ask enough times for something, these institutions are going to give it to them, pure and simple. This is just going into, they see that people want it. They see that there's money to be made. They see that if they don't jump into this, it's going to pass them by. If they don't jump into this, it will also destroy them. So they need to adapt to the current markets. Now, JP Morgan, their CEO, Jamie Dimon, is historically known for saying how Bitcoin was a fraud and was going to go to zero and it's just a big scam. But as a company, Morgan's kind of jumping in the game. So a lot of that is just FUD to keep the price down, to keep information from getting out there of Bitcoin's power and its ability to affect the big banks and the legacy markets, because just the independence of Bitcoin is a complete threat to the legacy markets. If they don't find a way to adapt, they will be, run over, destroyed, or whatever analogy you'd like to use for that. But it's a force to be reckoned with, and they know it. I really feel that the legacy markets are doing their best to keep the price suppressed while they get all their institutional machinations put in line, so that way they can buy up the market. So I'm being real savvy, and I recommend everybody being real savvy to understand what's going on. I'm looking at the prices of Bitcoin. Should it drop due to market activities that they've done, buying that baby up. Because, once they get in and they've got their positions where they don't think they can suppress it anymore, it's going to go to the moon, just like we all anticipate, just as more people start to utilize Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So that's my opinion on the situation. You do what you want to do, but I really see a lot of stuff that's going to be good for all of us in the long run, that hodl. But try to be careful with the speculation and the profits that you can do with it. Learn, take some courses, do your research. Our next article: Union Bank of the Philippines launching cryptocurrency ATMs. Crypto shout out to Bitcoin News for putting this article out there. Good job, guys. Now, what we have going on with this is one of the largest banks in the Philippines is reportedly launching a two-way cryptocurrency ATM that is in compliance with Bangko Sentral ang Filipinas specifications, Philippine Bank. In the Philippines, the central bank regulates cryptocurrencies when used for delivery of financial services, particularly for payments and remittances. The Philippines is widely known in the tourist and service industries for having people travel on the cruise ships and work in restaurants, and they send money back home. So now when they do that, cryptocurrencies have stepped in the way, like Noah Coin has, and I know XRP Ripple's been in the remittance game, but particularly Noah Coin, which is very localized to the Philippines. It allows those people to send money back to their family without the excessive fees that many of the traditional fiat currencies put on them. Plus, it adds them the convenience wherever they have a Wi-Fi signal or internet capability, they can go ahead and move funds around and through. So cryptocurrency makes it better for everyone to lower those fees, make funds very liquid, relatively stable, but available for people as they move around the world. So great activity going on there, but great to see that the Union Bank is really incorporating that and helping out the people of the Philippines to take advantage of it. I know myself, I'm beginning to do some work in my personal business with a company out in the Philippines, and do what we can to help out that community is only going to help us all. I know Noah Coin as a project is looking to put in a hotel and tourist destination in the Philippines, so definitely check out that project. So good on Union Bank of the Philippines. Glad to see this activity coming on, and hope that people really take advantage of it and maximize what they can do in the crypto space. So now, Argentina's state public transport card, SUB, or SUBE, accepts Bitcoin. Article coming to us from the Blockchain Story. Crypto shout out to the Blockchain Story for posting this. So Alta Vieja, a platform for adding money to SUBE cards, has partnered with Bitex, which provides blockchain-driven financial services to businesses. As a result of the partnership, the SUBE card can now be funded using BTC via Alta Vieja's website. SUBE can be used to travel by train, bus, and subway, and is used by over 7 million people in 37 locations in Argentina. Great job to see this going on. Mass adoption is what we love to see, and that's what we see coming down the pipe more and more in the cryptocurrencies and the altcoin space. It's the future. It's going to be happening. And it's great to see early adopters getting onto it because they're the ones that are really going to reap the most benefit. When businesses get these coins, and I know it's not a large amount of their market share that's going to be using crypto, but it is growing. But as long as somebody, which I like to do in my business, is hold on to the coins, wait for the jump. You could take advantage of the capital gains potential, at least capital gains in the US, the capital gains potential, and really maximize on, utilize your business. So good on Argentina, good on other business and retailers. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Crypto Quick, so people can know about, the actions that they can do to take advantage of cryptocurrencies. So these are the top stories that we picked out and found going through our feeds and on our website. Check out bitcoincrypto.news, so that way you can see other articles and other stories in the crypto space. If there's an article that you think we should have added, by all means, let me know. We can get that posted and updated. So our next segment is our BCN 1 Minute Whip. We take 1 minute for each day and go over a different cryptocurrency project. We generally go through that Tuesday through Friday and let everybody know about the different coins that we have available. There's over 2,100 cryptocurrencies in the crypto space right now. So take a minute to learn about those different projects and see what you think about them. So on Mondays, we do the show, so we post that there. Although we ran some technical issues Monday, and I ended up pushing the show promotion posted to Tuesday. So instead of doing a coin on Tuesday, we did the activity for the show. But Wednesday, we had 0x. And 0x is a cross-token platform that allows coin trading for ERC20 tokens and gives a liquidity pools without, trading liquidity in pools, so that way people can jump across ERC20 tokens and trade them easily and quickly on a stable platform. They're also available through Coinbase, so Coinbase allows people to get those tokens and begin trading and entering that space. So take a minute to learn about that project, see if it's something that you'd like to get involved with. On Thursday, we did a video on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a privacy currency that allows scalable, almost instant transactions with no fees. They did have a 51% attack recently, and they're bouncing back over that. We're seeing more exchanges adding that back on. I know that one of the big exchanges that delisted them was Binance, but nonetheless, for privacy's sake and the coin activity is still a good coin to look into. And, take a minute, look into that one. See if it's something you'd like to get involved with. Friday, we did Steam. Steam is a smart media token, and it allows content creators to monetize their material. So they largely work through the Steemit platform where people do blog articles and posts, put their pictures out so that way they can share them to everybody. And for likes and sharing, they get compensated in Steam. So it's great to see, that project, get some activity. And, it's been a great mover for us that do promotion videos and activity in the crypto space. So by all means, check that out and look at that video. So if somebody does want us to do a video on their project, let us know. We can go through, get that added to like do. We always love donations. Not exactly shills or anything, but hey, I'll take a buck, tell people about your coin. Not promoting any coin or another, but just for informational purposes. All right. And Bitcoiners of Southwest Florida met on February 7th. Wonderful meeting. It was a pleasure to get some in-depth conversation with Dustin, Mitchell, Mike. Glad to see you all coming out, your big stars for our Bitcoiners of Southwest Florida group, which is the largest Bitcoin enthusiast meetup in Southwest Florida. You can find them by going to meetup.com. They meet the first Thursdays of each month at our headquarters down here at the Butterfly Estates. So to stay up to date on them, check out our page at meetup.com and put in the search Bitcoiners of Southwest Florida. So we'll see you first Thursday of next month, which is March 7th at 6 p.m. at the Butterfly Estates. So see you all there. Be sure to tell your friends, bring them along, talk to some people that actually know what they're talking about in the crypto space. That way they don't roll their eyes back. Always bring it up again. We know what we're talking about. And the best resource we can do is our consulting live courses. online courses that we have available for everybody. We have our Bitcoin 101 for people that are brand new, just looking to get into crypto space. Reach out to us. We do those by appointment only, so we can let you know what you need to know to get into crypto space. Bitcoin 201, once you're in the space, you want to diversify, unless you want to go for Bitcoin maximalism and just stick with that one coin. A lot of people will diversify their portfolios, get on some exchanges. Bitcoin 201 shows you how to do that. Our Bitcoin 301, 302 goes into trading activity, how to make a profit with Bitcoin, and we go into the different trading strategies that somebody can learn to maximize their efforts and potential. So reach out to us if you'd like to take one of those courses. We can get you all squared away. And you can find us on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, the big places, but also on our up and coming sites, Tribes, MeWe, Minds. We post our videos, and you can like and share our information there as well. So find us, let us know, and we can communicate there. We do have some referral links in our description below. If you're looking to join on Binance, use the link below. Cryptopia, use the link below, although Cryptopia is shut down right now. We'll see when they get back up and running, but it's a shutdown that's good as they increase their security and protect the coins that people have on that exchange. We also have donational addresses if you'd like to donate to the show, keep things up and running, and you just appreciate what we got going on here. So thank you, everyone, for coming out, checking out the show. Keep in mind, you've got to risk it for the biscuit. Without risk, there's no reward. So in the crypto space, we take advantage and maximize what we can do for that, so we can hit the moon, get a Lambo, and run off into the crypto sunset with all of our profits. Really appreciate y'all spending some time with us. Questions, concerns, write in the chat, comment. We can get those in on the next show. Thanks everybody for the crypto for the sharing our information that we gave a crypto shout out to. Keep it up and tell your friends. Have a great week. See you next Monday, 9 o'clock. Thanks, Paul.